before I'm gonna show a video, but I want you had
Just
something.
a quick question for the men that are here. Do you think it's more difficult to be vulnerable in front of other men or in front of women?
Good question. One more time. Hold on. Let him repeat it one more time.
For the men that are here, is it more difficult for us to be vulnerable in front of women or in front of other men?
Yeah. I think men.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel that men behave two different ways. Like, you behave differently in front of women and in front of guys. So when you're with the boys, you can be vulnerable in a certain way that is acceptable for them. But you might not be the same way. You could say the same story, the same sentence, but you say it in a very different way for the girls. So, and in some cases, you may be way more vulnerable with like your boys that you've grown up with, and then maybe with the girl, like, actually, you know what, I don't want to do this. Because of the point you were saying earlier on about how, and like the same as Charles, like spending a long time trying to figure out how to be vulnerable, because you're taught not to be vulnerable. Yeah. And especially in front of another, guys will encourage you not to be vulnerable, so.
Yeah.
Can I ask a piggyback question? Are there any LGBT men in here? Because I would be curious.
Okay. I was gonna say for me, it's easier to be vulnerable with girls, because like because I was gay, I feel like if I was vulnerable, guys would judge me and think it's gross and like want to beat me up or something.
Right.
Especially growing up in a small town in Colorado, so I was like really not vulnerable, really like closed off to especially guys. And so all my friends were always girls, so I was always like, these are my 3 girls I'm with right now.
No doubt.
And so like,
Yeah.
I've always been really open and vulnerable with girls, and much less so with guys. It's a lot harder. Either whether they're straight or gay or whatever they are, it's a lot harder for me to be.
And I'll piggyback off of that too. Like, what's
I
that?
just wondered, do you feel that's changed? Trigger warning, I'm just going through this house, so back cross word. It's normal, I'm not short circuiting. Anyway, so I'm wondering, also sorry to interrupt, I'm wondering if you've noticed this be different, and it's a curious question.
Yeah, I mean, so I moved to California, to San Francisco, which is super LGBT friendly. And then, but when I went back home to Colorado, I noticed that my generation, like all the friends I went to school with that I was scared of coming out to and being vulnerable with, are a lot more open and accepting. I'm out to all of them, and they're way cooler than I thought they would be. And I think it's because I was more vulnerable, and they like me as a person. They're like, oh my god, it's so cool that you're gay, and you're like a cool person. I think that I'm trying to work on my vulnerability and being more open with other guys and with people in general, but I definitely feel comfortable with girls. But it's definitely changing. I think it's a lot more open with like our generation and the ones after. It's looking a lot more positive for us.
I have a question for you then. Do you find as a gay man that you are held up to the standard of masculinity of heterosexual men? Or do you find that you're allowed to be more vulnerable as a woman in terms of societal like views?
Well, in the gay community, there's like still a huge push towards masculinity, and like, you know, certain people, like, you know, people definitely still look down a little bit on people who act like more feminine. I feel like I definitely act a little more feminine with my gay friends, and we have like a different lingo and different way of interacting, but I still feel like even within the community, we still have like expectations of being more masculine, and people hate, there's like people like on the dating sites that like look for only masculine straight acting guys because they like think that being around feminine acting guys is gross and annoying and embarrassing. And so it's, and I think that I still also subdue myself a little bit in situations like these situations because I don't want to come across as that like super gay, queenie. I'm not just like a feminine 90s movie gay guy, so and maybe sometimes I'm that guy, but sometimes I'm not as much.
So that's interesting. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. It's interesting that Eric says that because it's literally what he just said. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, where he's like, you within your community, you feel like, okay, I don't want to come off as queenie to a certain group. You know what I'm saying? And they're still pushing us to be masculine. So I could say, in a sense, like, I don't want to come off soft to him if we're playing football together. But with one of my friends that I'm super cool with, I could be that soft. You know what I mean? And I love that you share that. Thank you for asking. I love that you share that because it just shows how we're all the same. You know what I mean? And like we put ourselves in these different categories and boxes for what? You know what I mean?
Protection. We believe that it's a protection, but it's
not. It's. Thank you. Thank everybody. Wow.
I'm chime in really quick too.
Yeah.
To answer your question, like I feel the same way you do. Actually, I feel like I can open up more to women, also because I was raised by a woman too. So oftentimes I feel like I can share my feelings. I feel safe share being vulnerable, or to a certain extent, if I can be vulnerable in front of women. And then I find times where I'm vulnerable with men, it's not something that's said. I find it in like moments of silence that I have with men.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about deep stuff, and then we take a moment and we just sit. Like literally like this.
We always have to. So I'm gonna show this video in a second, but the only reason I'm saying that is because I was raised by both of my parents, and my dad is like very macho. Like he don't have a lot of words for you, but he has so much encouragement. Like he's just a great man. But like my mom would pull me to the side when I was younger. I'm more of an emotional person. And so like she would pull me to the side and say, it's okay to cry. Just know what you're crying about. And what she was opening up for me was emotional intelligence, you know? And so like, I feel like women, when you're younger, you guys open up this realm of emotional intelligence and vulnerability. And so imagine, we're in Spain, so imagine if from day one, you're learning how to speak Spanish. If Spanish is the vulnerable language, right? You're learning how to speak it, and then I just show up to Spain and I don't know how to speak Spanish. And you're telling me, why don't you know how to speak Spanish? That's how love is. You feel what I'm saying? It gets tricky. So like even with me and you, we know English. And even though we're starting to learn Spanish or vulnerability, when we're sitting here with each other, we're like, do we want to go here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's always that thought of like, is he ready for it? I know she's ready for it. She speaks it fluently, and I'm learning and I grew up speaking it fluently too, but like imagine if I can only speak it to you and not speak it with like my brothers and speak it with my friends, you know what I'm saying? Or me and Eric can speak it well, but I'm speaking to Eric and I'm heterosexual and he's homosexual, and they're like, why are you always hanging with him? Because he knows how to speak the language and you guys don't, you know? And so it's like this, it is a mind game, and I'm telling you, like we're all going through it together, and that's why I love having these types of conversations, because everybody in the room is the same. Okay,
Can I just say something real quick?
Please.
I think I agree with everything you said and everything everyone else said, but I think you also got to be careful sometimes with taking up too much energy from someone just because they speak the same language as you. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can really perpetuate certain things. So
that's true.
For women, you know, like all of my guy friends and my, you know, partners and, you know, men talk to me about emotions, and that's great because I really care about them. I want to help them out. But at the same time, you know, I wonder how many people ask them, and like, you know, I wonder how much time they spend helping other people, you know, trying to figure out all these things about emotions that I, you know, do for free, you know?
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that.
Sometimes I feel like I'm
I feel that way too, so I know exactly what you mean. Okay.